Castles as we know them today are huge stone structures that stand to intimidate. These castles that we picture in our minds are known as stone keep castles. However, these were developed from a more basic form of castle known as the Motte and Bailey. In this short video, we will take you around the different features of a Motte and Bailey castle and also look at their origins. Remember to support the channel, please make sure to subscribe. A Motte and Bailey is a form of castle that is found on raised earthworks or a hill and is surrounded by a ditch and a protective fence. During the 11th century, this type of castle was most commonly found in Europe and found its way over to England following the invasion of William the Conqueror in 1066. The main features of a Motte and Bailey castle were made out of wood. This was easily sourced from the vast forests that dominated England. However, making a castle out of wood did have its drawbacks. They could be easily burnt down by rebels, but also wood could rot easily and didn't offer the same protection that later stone did. The motte is a large mound of earth which had a ditch surrounding its base. It sometimes was made by piling large amounts of earth and creating an artificial hill. However, most times it was a natural hill that offered good defensive positions. Large mottes could be as high as 30 metres and also as wide as 90 metres. The motte or hill would be flattened on top, and this is where the keep would be placed. Mottes offered a lot of value defensively, as a keep or conventional castle could be placed on top of them, and this would allow guards to be able to spot an enemy from the top of the motte. The sides of the motte would also help to protect the castle, as the steep slope would make it difficult for invaders to attack the castle, as they could be fired down upon. The bailey really is the heart of the castle. The bailey is where all the action inside the castle would take place, and it refers to a yard or an area of land that stood at the bottom of the motte. The yard was enclosed by a wooden fence known as a palisade and then a ditch. The bailey was the centre of life inside the castle. It was where people would get together and work. Inside the bailey was a number of different buildings, including great halls, kitchens, stores, chapels, workshops, barracks for soldiers and stables. This was the busiest part of the castle, and the people inside the bailey would be working for the lord, who would be present inside the castle's keep. The bailey would be linked to the keep using a flying bridge. If the castle was attacked, the bailey could be isolated with the drawbridge being pulled up, which was guarded by a gatehouse. Guards inside here would then control entry in and out of the castle. The keep is a traditional castle building that we think of today. However, in the Motte and Bailey layout, this was made out of wood and not stone. The keep sat on top of the motte and was surrounded also by another palisade or fence made from wood. Some keeps were rather large, however others were quite small and simple. It depended really on the size of the hill. These smaller keeps often were just a simple tower, however some larger keeps were much more complex and consisted of different rooms. The keep was the last bastion of the castle, and if the castle was attacked, people and guards would retreat to the safety of the keep to gain higher ground and also find some safety. The flying bridge that links the motte and the keep could also be cut, isolating it further. Flying bridges weren't used in all castles, and usually steps were cut into the motte to get to the keep. As mentioned earlier, the palisade was a fence that surrounded pretty much all the castle. This was wooden, however was prone to rotting or fire attacks. The fact the Motte and Bailey Castle was made from wood allowed it to be created in a very short amount of time. Following William the Conqueror's invasion, he had to impose his rule on the English quickly, so he built a number of these castles in a very quick time. The drawbridge was the main entrance to the castle, and in the transition to stone keep castles these stayed, however became made from stone. These acted as the grand entrance to the castle and usually had gatehouses next to them. Guards would be stationed here to ensure no one without permission gained access to the castle. The ditch which surrounded the bailey is sometimes known as a moat, however only sometimes were these ditches filled with water. Sometimes waste and litter would be thrown into the ditch, making it more off-putting for an invader to cross. The Motte and Bailey Castle had its positives, but also its negatives. Although it could be erected in a short amount of time and wasn't too costly to build, it was susceptible to attack and being destroyed. Its place in history is one that preceded the Stone Keep Castle, the most prominent type of castle that we still see today. Once again, thank you for watching. To support the channel, please make sure to subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching.